Good morning, folks, or good afternoon, I should say. It's just turned 12 noon. Well, so I just returned yesterday from my trip to the Grand Canyon, and believe it or not, I am off again on another trip. This time I am running solo on my 2008 Goldwing. I will be meeting my buddy Kevin, who was riding with me on his 2007 Ultra Classic, and he's going to be meeting me at our gas stop out in the city of Corona. And from there we are taking off to Lake Arrowhead, and I'm going to be spending 3 days out at the lake out there. So going to be a nice weekend up in the mountains. Looking really forward to that. Lake Arrowhead's about, I think, approximately halfway up the mountain to Big Bear Lake, city of Big Bear. And so it's a beautiful area, and Lake Arrowhead is absolutely gorgeous too. So looking forward to a nice weekend up in the mountains and taking you guys out with me on the ride. Hopefully you enjoy this one. I'll probably land up posting this video before I start posting my videos from the Grand Canyon, just because there's so much editing to do and videos to put together. We did so much riding out there. That trip to the Grand Canyon landed up being 1,700 and some odd change miles. Worked out really well for us. So yeah, we're about to hit the 405 going south right here, and oh lady, what are you doing? And then we'll take the 133 toll road up across onto the 91, and right as we get onto the 91, the first turn off right there on Green River. Oh my gosh, the first turn off right there on Green River, there's a Shell and Chevron gas station right there, and we'll fuel up right at that station. I don't know what this lady's doing right here. And yeah, that's where I'll meet my buddy Kevin out there. You guys have seen this ride across the 133 and 241 quite often on my rides. With it being Friday today, I prefer taking this toll road and missing most of the traffic instead of taking the 55 and 91 and going that way. On a Friday afternoon, that traffic can be just horrible. Not that we're not gonna hit traffic here on the 91. Hopefully not too bad though, seeing that it's only noon. Love that about the Goldwing. This thing weighs about 950 something pounds, somewhere around there, and I have this thing loaded with quite a bit of luggage, and then myself as well. And even with all that weight, it really takes those turns with ease. It's just such a really well balanced motorcycle. Gorgeous day out here in Southern California. We're looking at 74 degrees right now. Oh, how beautiful. I have to say that I wish that I was able to get my CB and also intercom connected to my GoPro before I left, because yeah, we had some really interesting conversations, especially riding with Kevin. He lived in Utah and also in Arizona for a little while, and so he had a lot more knowledge about some of the areas we traveled through compared to me, and so it would be nice to hear his commentary as we went through different places. So unfortunately on those videos you only hear one side of the conversation, which is me. But I just made the order today for the cables and everything that I need for getting my comms and stuff into my GoPro. So up here on my helmet I'm wearing GoPro Hero 9 with the media mod, and makes it easy just to come straight off the Sena 50S, and with a couple cables just run that straight into my media mod. If you guys want to know how I do that once I have that complete, let me know in the chat right there, and I'll put a video together for how I made that happen. Oh, excuse me. Man, you know, one question I have for you guys right there. So I have these two GoPro Hero 9 cameras, the one you see facing me and the one on my helmet here, giving you guys the view of my ride. Down on my handlebar right here I have that new or the newest GoPro remote. Now there is sometimes where that remote works so flawlessly. I have both cameras synced to it, and I'm not sure, I think I don't think it's Bluetooth, I think it's Wi-Fi that it uses to connect to that remote right there. And I really like it a lot, because as soon as I hit that record button right there, both cameras start recording, and they actually sync really nicely to where when I bring my footage into my non-linear editor, I don't have to worry about trying to find and sync the audio and time code and that kind of thing. But the phrase there is, when it works, it is absolutely amazing. But now a lot of the time it'll actually lose connection to either one of the cameras, and it's not like it's the same camera every time. It'll be that one will be disconnected from it and then it can't sync, or this one will be disconnected from it and it can't sync. Then I have to turn both the cameras off. I have to turn the remote off, restart the cameras, restart the remote, and then it runs like it should again. How can I stop that from happening? Like I say, when it works and it's connected, it works fantastically. But on this trip to Arizona, there were so many times that the connection would just be disconnected, and I have to sit and struggle to, while riding, trying to turn cameras off, turn the remote off, and then start everything up again, you know. And I don't really like doing that. That's the reason why I bought this remote, so it's just one button for me to push and it starts both cameras. So if you guys have a solution for that, or I think I have the latest firmware installed on there, maybe that's something I need to check out. I know for sure I have the latest firmware on my GoPros, that I know, but on the remote I actually don't even know if I can upgrade the firmware. That's something I'm gonna have to investigate when I get back home. I've just been on the road so much this last week now, so I haven't had a chance to do that. But I'm so excited to get my comms going into my GoPro so that you guys can hear the conversations and be a part of everything happening on the journey with me. You guys already see the change in what these hills are looking at. Remember, it's probably been about a month and a half since I started making content for my channel. These hills were all completely green just a couple of weeks ago, and as we start to head into the hot California summers, we're going back to this brownish kind of color. It'll just change even more. Out in this area right here that we're just starting to get into, this side of the mountains that I'm coming from is closest to the ocean. So on this side of the mountain, the temperature can be about 20 to 30 degrees cooler than on that side of the hill right there. So where I'm staying, I'm probably 15 minutes away from the beach, and during the summertime our temperatures there run anywhere from the mid 80s to the mid 90s, whereas out here Oh, my nose is itching, so just give me a second to scratch my nose. There we go. So yeah, so there can be a 20-degree temperature from the other side of this hill to this side of the hill, and this mountain kind of acts as a barrier for that sea or ocean air not to get over in this direction. And especially on that side where it starts to get so hot, you'll notice the hills become really brown. This is the 241 freeway right here that runs from Orange County to the 91, taking us to the Inland Empire. And we will probably get some traffic right now as we cross over from the 241 to the 91. Okay, this is not looking bad. On a bad day of traffic, the traffic will be backed up all the way up this hill, over down the other side. So this is fantastic right here. And like I say, it is Friday afternoon. This is the worst day for traffic out in this area. Up on the hills right there, the homes that you see just ahead, that is the city of Yorba Linda. Let me get over here in case there's vehicles that want to come and shoot by me real fast. That is the city of Yorba Linda out there on the hills. Really beautiful city to live in. Just as we start to go east on the 91 right here, this is the Orange County, Riverside County line. This 91 freeway, man, is, oh, it's probably one of the worst freeways to travel on. If you're coming from the Inland Empire, it's the only way to get, or one of the only ways to get. There's the 91, there's the 60, and then there's the 10 freeway, and they're all equally as bad. But it's the only way out of this area to get into Orange County, and there are no side streets. Once you pass this first exit that we're about to hit here, which is Green River, I'm gonna take the turn off right there and then fill up with gas at the gas station there, meeting Kevin. But once if you're coming west and you pass that Green River turn off, there are no side streets. So literally from that Green River exit to the next exit, which is called Gypsum Canyon right here, it can take you an hour and a half to 2 hours just to make that, what is that, about a mile and a half, 2 miles. Insane. When I lived out here in Corona, it would normally take me about 10 minutes to get from my house to the freeway, but the 91 runs here, the 15 runs in just a couple miles going north and south. And if there's an accident on the 15 or an accident on the 91, everybody uses these neighborhood streets to try and get away from the traffic on the freeways. And there were a couple mornings where instead of the 10-minute ride from my house to the freeway, there were a couple mornings where it literally took me 4 hours to get from my house to the exit on the freeway, because there were accidents on the freeway, and the freeway was blocked so bad it gridlocked our entire neighborhood. Once that happened a few times, I was like, I am done, I've had enough. And that's when we decided to sell our place out here and move to Orange County. We are much happier travelers. If there's no traffic on this freeway, for example, for me to travel from where I lived in Corona to work, it takes me about 20 to 25 minutes. But because the traffic's so heavy right here, I have to give myself a 2-hour window. So I'd leave home 2 hours before, maybe pack my breakfast with me, take that, or plan to hang out at a Starbucks or something if I arrive out there early, just so I won't be late for work. And that wasn't just once in a while I had to do that. Every day I had to go into work. That was the process I had to go through. My wife as well would wake up at 4 in the morning so that she could get to work, which was a 40-minute ride that could take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours just to get there. Now my commute to work, 10 minutes. When the traffic is heavy and I can take side streets, 12 minutes. I'm so happy with that. For her, her commute was cut short by a lot as well, so yeah. We spent our life out on the freeway and just trying to make it from home to work every day. You just kind of get to a point where enough's enough, you know, when you got to make a change. We loved living out here, and if our jobs were out in this area, you know, that would have made a huge difference, but unfortunately not. And the statistics are actually extremely high for people that live out in this area and drive out to LA every day to go and work out there. Once you cross into this Riverside County area, the prices of property and homes drop considerably, so you can buy a much bigger home for a lot less. And so that's what attracts people to come and live out here. And so people will much more have, or they much prefer having a nicer, huge home and living out in this area and making that commute every day than living in a smaller home. So, you know, for me, I prefer having the shorter commute. So we're gonna pull in here in one of these. I'm not sure if he's here already. Let me look. I do not see his. Oh yeah, I see him. He's here at the shell. So we'll fuel up right here.